Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio by Scott Spreitzer. We're going to take a look at what, in my memory, the biggest college football game in Temple history, in my opinion. What do you think?
I would say so, man. And they're getting 10.5 points in this particular game. It's going to be played in Philly, although I think the crowd will probably be pro Notre Dame in this particular contest. But I get the anti-Temple folks. The people who are jumping in on the Irish in this particular game because they're basically focusing and pointing out the fact that the Owls' schedule hasn't been that tough. I mean, look at the opponents they played, okay? I mean, it's not exactly, I should say, murderer's row of schedule. And on top of it, you look at what the Owls have done. They've been sleepy on offense. They're 92nd through the year, 93rd on the ground. So I get the whole argument against Temple and for Notre Dame. But as I always say, that almighty point spread is the great equalizer, and it's sitting at 10.5 right now. I know the last time these two teams played a couple of years ago, Notre Dame won 28-6 in that particular contest, but this is a much different version that the Irish are going to face this time.
No question about it. In this Temple defense, everything starts and stops right with the defense. That's what they're going to win. They're not going to do it on. They're not going to get in a shootout with Notre Dame. That's not going to happen. They got to control the tempo of this game. And last year, this defense was good last year. They brought everybody back. It's not that often that you see programs, bring everybody back, especially one that was good the year before. Well, a lot of times, we have a bad defense because they had all young players. And, they say, well, the good news is they're bringing everybody back. The bad news is they're bringing everybody back. That wasn't the case with this one. And Notre Dame has held everybody they've played to 23 points or less except one team. The only team that's topped 23 on them was Cincinnati.
You meant Temple's held them.
Oh, Temple's held them. Sorry. And Cincinnati's the only team that scored more than 23, and they only scored 24. And this is a team that scores 40 points just in a blink of an eye, the Cincinnati offense. So this is the real deal on defense. Now, have they faced a physical team? A team's got, better athletes at the line of scrimmage. Notre Dame, is going to try to run the football. They got a passing game to support it with balance. Temple's not built if they fall behind to have to come from behind. So they got to keep this thing close from the beginning.
You look at last week, it's kind of funny because I thought that was a huge test, obviously, the biggest test before Notre Dame, because they had to play East Carolina, a very tough spot, well-coached East Carolina Pirate team every single year. And they were down 14-10 with less than 4 minutes to go in the game was Temple. And if you had the Temple Owls, you were living right last Saturday. And they ended up winning 24-14 despite trailing by 4 with under 4 minutes to go in the game. Here's the deal. I mentioned at the top of my analysis that Temple can't run the ball, they can't pass the ball. But they got a kid named Jared Thomas who every once in a while has a bust-out game. He can pick him up and put him down. And the thing about Notre Dame, they have given up almost 5 yards per carry. So, Marco, my thoughts is that Temple has the right kind of game to keep this game, the clock moving, which keeps this game lower scoring in their favor, lets their defense, one of the top defenses in the country, get things done. So for me, it's Temple plus the double digits. As long as it's 10 or above, I like the Temple Owls in this one.
To go back to the game of the East Carolina game last week, that was actually a weeknight game last week. So it made it even tougher, going on a short week on the road. And I made that statement on Twitter on Thursday, I think it was Thursday night, saying this is a tough spot, for Temple. And I was getting crucified on Twitter by everybody saying, they're not going to look past them. They're an undefeated team. They want to keep. I understand all of that, but you can't help a short week of prep against a conference rival that can score points. East Carolina's got an offense that can score.
We were talking on radio last week. Be very careful of this spot. The weeknight plus Notre Dame next. And this incredible season they're having.
They're 20, 22-year-old kids.
Exactly.
This is like, okay, they might have been dating the cheerleader last week facing East Carolina, but this week they got a supermodel. You're going to look ahead to the supermodel. I'm sorry. All right, put you on the spot. You like Temple plus the points here in this one?
Getting double digits, I got to go the Temple Owls or nothing for me. What about you?
Same way. I think Notre Dame escapes with this one, 28-23 type game, but I like Temple plus the points. And I do radio show on Wednesday nights where the host went to Temple. And so every week he wants to hear about Temple. So I'm going to make him happy if he's betting them this week, but he's not going to be happy that straight up.
Winner.
The outright winner. Hey, guys, head over to WagerTalk.com. All weekend long, you can save $10 with our coupon, TREAT10. Use the word treat for trick or treat for Halloween this week, and the number 10, you'll get $10 off. You can also apply that if you want to get on board our all weekend access. $69 gets everything. Pick your favorite capper from Thursday through Monday and get all of his plays for $69. We'll be back with more, and be sure to check out all of our videos at WagerTalk.com.